everybody, good morning, it's JPR, and welcome back to another video. It feels like Pokemon has already exhausted every possible gimmick that comes to mind. Forms, powered up moves, changing types, getting really big for some reason. But one feature that's notably been untouched since it was introduced is abilities. So I'm coming up with a gimmick of my own for this video. What if Pokemon could use all of their available abilities at the same time? Who would be the most broken Pokemon of all? Let's take a look. So when coming up with this idea, immediately the first Pokemon that came to mind was Excadrill. Typically, Excadrill is forced to pick between Sandforce or Sandrush, and then it usually will run the choice item that complements it. But now, we don't have to choose. In Sandstorm, Excadrill would have a monstrous base speed of 176 with Sandrush, and with Sandforce, its ground, rock, and steel moves would get an additional 30% power boost. And with both at the same time, Excadrill is no longer shackled to a choice item, meaning it can run Life Orb instead for another 30% power boost. So not to take you back to math class or anything, but if we calc that real quick, Excadrill's Stab Earthquake would have a power of 253.5. Literally more powerful than an explosion, which I guess does make sense, that typically is the case in real life. But wait, you thought it ended there? No siree, because Excadrill also has a third hidden ability to account for, Mold Breaker. So common checks like Rotom Wash or Latios aren't even safe from this menace, as their levitate abilities get completely negated. As it turns out, a lot of Sandstorm Pokemon would be broken in this scenario, but Excadrill is probably the most noteworthy. Gigalith would definitely shoot up the tier list, as it would have access to Sandstream, setting up its own weather, while also keeping sturdy and its hidden ability Sandforce. One Pokemon who I didn't even know was possible to run on a Sand team until now is Dracovish. I mean, can you blame me? This thing wants Strong Jaw 100% of the time. But now, it could also have Strong Jaw for the massive vicious Wrens, while also having access to its hidden ability, Sandrush. So no need to run Choice Scarf anymore, you can just run Choice Band in case your vicious Wrens weren't quite destroying entire orphanages already. And while it's not the greatest ability on this Pokemon, it would also have Water Absorb, making it easier to switch in. Even Sandaconda would be amazing in this format. With access to Sand Spit and Sand Veil combined, it can dodge moves easily while also setting up with Coil. And in addition to that, it has Shed Skin, so forget about burning or poisoning it. Honestly, between these four Pokemon, you would pretty much have an unbeatable team already. You could fill those last two slots with Bidoof or something. Oh, I'm sorry, I said that like it was a bad thing. Oh no, Bidoof would be quite broken under the system as well, with the abilities Simple, Unaware, and Moody. Simple is an incredibly busted ability that very few Pokemon get access to, and Bidoof and Bibarel are two of the lucky ones. This ability doubles your stat changes, so for instance if Bidoof uses Swords Dance, it gains +4 attack instead of +2. In addition to that, we have Unaware, an ability that completely ignores the opponent's stat changes. This generally means that when your opponent is setting up for a sweep with Dragon Dance, Swords Dance, or something of the like, you can send in an Unaware Pokemon to completely stop them in their tracks. So don't even think about getting into a stat-raising competition with Bidoof. You won't win, trust me. And if that wasn't enough, Moody is next, an ability so unpredictable and abusable that it's been banned from competitive singles for generations. This ability sharply raises one stat at random and lowers another at the end of every turn. And combined with Simple, those +2 stat changes on every turn would also become +4 stat changes. At least, I assume that's how it would work. We can't really test it because Pokemon with multiple abilities don't exist yet. Why is there a guy with a big green head and a ghostly horse at my window right now? Though this does have the potential to screw over Bidoof, as it could get very unlucky and lower its defenses every turn, making it very easy to KO with a Mach Punch or something of the like. But even so, I find it extremely hilarious that Bidoof of all Pokemon has a deadly combination of 3 stat-oriented abilities. One of its pals, Swoobat, could almost contend with it, as it also has the holy combo of Unaware and Simple, but unfortunately, its other ability is Klutz, which removes its ability to use an item, so that kinda sucks. While we're on the topic of Unaware though, there are 2 others that are hard to overlook. Clefable with a combination of Unaware and Magic Guard, which prevents it from taking damage from anything that isn't a direct attack. So, entry hazards, toxic damage, sandstorm, etc. Yeah, none of it will do anything to Clefable. And with Unaware added on top of that, you instantly have one of the best walls in the game. And the other is Clodsire. This Pokemon has 2 really great abilities in Unaware and Water Absorb. I'm just gonna assume that you know what that one does, so I don't have to explain it. So not only here could Clodsire ignore stat changes, but it also loses a common weakness. And hey, it has Poison Point for good measure, making it even easier to stall. Next, we have a trio of Pokemon with a combination of these 2 abilities, Intimidate and Moxie, and these belong to Salamence, Gyarados, and Crocodile. All Salamence and Gyarados need are a single Dragon Dance and a KO, and they are primed to rip through any team imaginable. Unless there's a Bidoof staying there to stop them. And while Crocodile doesn't appear as menacing with the lack of Dragon Dance, you could easily run an Assault Vest set to make it extra bulky and take down quite a few Pokemon. When it comes to starter Pokemon, who else but Greninja would be the best in the format? Torrent, Protean, and Battle Bond for good measure? The only other starter that's even in the ballpark is Blaziken, who would have access to both Speed Boost and Blaze. So that final Flare Blitz at the end of the sweep is KOing virtually anything. But I'd still say Greninja probably has the edge here. But what about really obscure Pokemon that would suddenly be really good? How about Appletun? With Thick Fat, it now resists fire, and, well, ice still hurts, but at least not as much. And when combined with its other ability Ripen, which doubles the effect of berries, and Gluttony, which makes it consume berries early, you could run a really gimmicky Starf Berry set where Appletun randomly gets +4 added to any stat when it reaches half HP. Of course, with RNG involved, you may not get the best results. I mean, what is +4 speed Appletun gonna do for you? Bro is still slower than a stick of butter melting on the side of a hill. Another obscure Pokemon that would rocket to the top of the tier list would be Cinccino, who would have both Technician and Skill Link. Not only making its move Tail Slap hit 5 times guaranteed, but each one gets a 50% power boost, so in total we're looking at a 188 base power attack. And while this Pokemon hasn't appeared yet in Gen 9, I have the sinking feeling that when it does, it's probably going to get access to Tidy Up, which boosts the user's attack and speed by 1 stage, which is all this Pokemon would need to go completely over the edge. And that's not even considering that this Pokemon already has access to Bullet Seed, Rock Blast, and Triple Axle. So don't even worry about its coverage options. It's worth noting Ambipom also gets this combination of abilities, but yeah, it probably wouldn't be as good as Cinccino. Red Striped Basculin would also become a freak of nature with access to Reckless, Adaptability, and Mold Breaker. A Wave Crash from this Pokemon would obliterate almost anything. And while I'm fairly certain this is cheating, you could even throw in Rockhead from Blue Striped Basculin to cancel out the recoil damage. Okay, yeah, that is cheating. Now wait a minute, did you think that we were only going to talk about broken Pokemon in this video? How about the ones that would get no benefit whatsoever? Who would absolutely suck? Well, first, if you've gotten this far, how about subscribing? Most of my viewers aren't subscribed, but clearly you guys like the videos because you keep coming back, so why not? Duraludon is a pretty funny case. It has access to both light metal and heavy metal at the same time. Don't ask me how that makes a lick of sense, but I find it quite humorous that combining these two would just give Duraludon the same weight it normally has. Sableye is a victim of this same issue, but perhaps even worse. Normally, Sableye always wants to run Prankster, so it has access to priority Will-O-Wisp, Recover, Substitute, etc. But Sableye also has one of the worst signature abilities of all time, Stall, which does the complete opposite, always making this Pokemon move last. I'm not sure whether Stall would prevail over Prankster here, or if they just cancel out and give Sableye 0 priority, or D priority. I'm not sure what the proper term there would be. But regardless, yeah, he gets screwed over pretty hard. Another funny one is that with both Insomnia and Vital Spirit, Delibird is twice as immune to sleep. This man's got so many monster energies pumping through his system, his heart's about to explode. Kecleon also has abilities that completely go against each other with Protean and Color Change. He would pretty much be able to change types once when he uses a move, and then immediately it would get changed again by the opponent just hitting him. And Heliolisk with both Dry Skin and Solar Power would probably just disintegrate into a pile of ash when the sun is active, losing a whole 25% of its HP at the end of every turn. But I think I've saved 2 of our best Pokemon for the very end. No assistance required. Up next is Conkeldurr. With 3 amazing abilities combined, it's hard to go wrong. Iron Fist, Guts, and Sheer Force. You could run a Flame Orb to double your attack, and the burn damage wouldn't even matter. Just Drain Punch every turn, and you're probably getting your entire HP bar back. And finally, how about Galarian Darmanitan with the deadly combination of Guerrilla Tactics and Zen Mode? You find a timely switch in, and you've basically opened the gates of hell on your opponent. With 135 speed, 160 attack, and you can actually bump it up to 240 attack thanks to Guerrilla Tactics. And since that ability locks you into a single move, you may as well run Choice Scarf too. So roughly 200 speed as well, making this guy the single greatest glass cannon to ever exist. Even Excadrill in the sand fears this abomination. So what do you think? Are there any Pokemon that would be extremely good or bad that I missed out on? I'm sure there's probably a lot, so I'll leave the rest of the work to the comments. But before that, remember to leave a like on this video if you enjoyed, subscribe for more videos just like this one, and I'll see you guys next time.